So the first question is, why would you want to shoot an infrared? This is an infrared shot taken at Manchester Airport, initially in full colour, but you'll see what full colour images look like, and with an IR72 filter. I've done some editing, but not much, and you can see you're getting a slightly different image, in fact a very different image to what you'd normally get if you're shooting in black and white. What you're doing effectively is cutting out all the visible light. For things like foliage will come up white because it reflects a hell of a lot of infrared, right? Anything with that's green is reflecting a ton of infrared light. So next I'm going to quickly go on to what you actually need, but I thought a quick introduction would be just what you actually need first. What you need for infrared digital photography is a camera, obviously. In this case, mine is a Samsung NX3000. Fantastic little camera. Sorry about this. An IR72 filter. And optional is some white balance cards. So I've got white, 18% grey behind there, and black. The black's not obviously white balance. That's it. Most digital camera sensors are sensitive some way into the infrared range. The only way you can try it is to get a filter and have a look. But I'd say even phone cameras. And so that's the equipment. I've included links for that, the IR72 filter, and the white balance cards, and they're fairly cheap down below. So next I'll sort of go into a bit about exposure and white balance, and then we will continue. Okay, so bit in exposure. When you've got the IR720 filter, you are normally someplace between, you need to put an exposure compensation of minus 4 to 6 stops. Most digital camera will adjust to this, but I'd suggest you use manual mode. Now, white balance, the function of white balance is to make sure that objects in the scene that are white appear white in the photograph. I've not used it that often. I've not used sort of like manual white balance settings, so this is new for me as well. So I'm going to be doing quite a bit of this during this video. I will be doing different white balance settings to see what actually happens. Now, the way to set your white balance is if you press the right button. So if you go to the menu on your camera, go down to white balance, go to custom set, take your white balance cards. In this case I'm going to go with the white one. Make sure that the card is all in there, and that's the new white balance being set. That's it to take in white balance. So you will also need a tripod, which I've not included, and a self timer as well. Okay, white balance and Darktable, which is what I use because unlike Adobe, it's free and cheap. So this is, I've been playing about with this image, but I'll go back on that button to white balance a shot. So that's your white balances shot. White balance detected from area. Go back to white balance as shot. And then white balance to user modified. So I don't actually know how I've done that, but that looks pretty good. Or set white balance to camera reference, but let's go to user modified. In fact, I can play with the color temperature and tint, because the whole point of infrared photography really is to play. But let's just set it back to the camera and let's increase the green tint, and that's interesting. Increase the red tint too much. Blue channel again. Oh, there's something interesting happening there. Green channel too much. Take the green channel right out. And play with the temperature. Go back to camera. Drop the tint down a bit. Yeah, that's reasonable. I'm just trying to. I did have something really good, honestly. So, and that's basically if it's for playing with your white balance and colours. I might drop that red a bit. Oh yeah, that's roughly, that's getting better. So let's up my green. Now, I really like the way the Ryanair's sticking out there. Let's take up the blue a bit. No, let's completely take blue out. And that is there. And sorry about heavy breathing because I've got a cold. But that is basically it. You just play until you get something that you like. And I've forgotten how to export things from Darktable. But the photo will be coming up after this video. I thought I'd just add a wee bit on sort of colour balance here. I'll move that just because my previous explanation was a bit shit, but I'm keeping it in. Now, if you look in here, there is tons of red as you would expect. Now, the temperature is 6,503 Kelvin, so it's quite warm. So if I increase the temperature, you see the reds become more and more prevalent. But what you want to do is, if you're doing false colour photography, you want to start decreasing the temperature and bringing up your greens, yellows and blues. So let's just cool it down to about there. And then tint the colour tint of the image from magenta to green. So I might, yeah, I don't like that, but it's increasing the amount of magenta there and moving it this way. Just makes it black because there is no green in the image. So probably about there. And if I start dropping the amount of blue in the image, again, you can see it going very, very red. So up the blue. Increasing the green doesn't do anything because there is no blue in it, does it? Yes, it does. And let's decrease the red. No, there. Okay. But that's roughly. Go into this color calibration tab and Again, I might want to increase the blue, and no, let's just increase them. And yeah, just ignore that one because it's a bit shit. Oh yeah, but you're actually getting quite a nice monochrome image out of that. So ignored a bit about colour calibration. I need to work out what that's for. But white balance I'm getting better at. So hopefully that has confused you some more.